Today on NewsWatch, protests continue over the police killing of a black man in Charlotte. We'll show you what the family saw when they watched the body cam video. Plus, Hollywood remakes a classic with some of the biggest stars in the business. We'll take you behind the scenes of The Magnificent Seven. And a surprising piece of African-American history is now on display. We'll show you how Nat Turner's Bible is such a big deal. And thank you so much for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. Residents of Charlotte took to the street for a third straight night, protesting the deadly shooting of a black man. Police video of that incident is now drawing controversy as church leaders pray for peace. George Thomas is on the story.
No justice, no peace!
The demonstrations were largely peaceful as more than 400 National Guard troops and police kept watch. Meanwhile, family members of Keith Scott said police video of his fatal shooting has left them with more questions than answers. Scott, a 43-year-old black man and father of 7, was shot on Tuesday by Officer Brentley Vinson, who is black. Police say a gun was recovered on the scene. His family says he didn't even own a weapon. They claim he was carrying a book, not a gun. After Scott's relatives watched the police video of the shooting, a family lawyer said when he was shot and killed, Mr. Scott's hands were up by his side and he was slowly walking backwards. The family wants the video released, but police say that won't happen until the investigation is over. In the wake of the violence, churches and Christian ministries have been out on the streets looking to help and praying with people. The Billy Graham Evangelistic Association deployed crisis-trained chaplains.
A gentleman walked by, saw my truck, saw our van, walked over, said, "Are you chaplains?" "Yes." "Do you have a minute?" "Yes." "Can I tell you my story?" Yeah. And he just needed prayer. He just said, "I'm overwhelmed with life right now." And that's a constant theme that we hear often.
On Wednesday night, as police and protesters clashed, Charlotte pastor Kirby Anthony and members of his church were on the streets.
We decided to go down into Uptown for one reason and one reason only, to pray and to be a light for those that were there, to be a light for the police officers and to be a light for the protesters.
Meanwhile, the officer involved in the fatal shooting of an unarmed black man in Tulsa, Oklahoma, will face a first-degree manslaughter charge.
I determined that the filing of the felony crime of manslaughter in the first degree against Tulsa police officer Betty Shelby is warranted.
Shelby encountered Terrence Crutcher last Friday night with his car abandoned in the middle of the street. Shelby claims Crutcher ignored her commands and feared that he had a gun.
I shot a subject, won't show me his hands.
But police in Tulsa have released a dashcam video, and it showed Crutcher with his hands up and walking away.
He's got his hands up there for her now.
Crutcher was shot moments later. His family said his death was racially motivated.
While we are pleased to learn that the officer who senselessly killed my beloved twin brother will face criminal charges for her reckless act, we understand that nothing will bring him back.
Officer Shelby turned herself in early Friday morning to face the first-degree manslaughter charge. And both shootings have once again brought the issues of race and relations with law enforcement, along with how to handle police videos, back to the headlines in an election year. George Thomas, CBN News.
Speaking of election year, Donald Trump appears to be leading or narrowing the gap with rival Hillary Clinton in key swing states ahead of November's presidential election. The latest Quinnipiac University poll shows Trump ahead of Clinton in Georgia, 47 to 40%. He also leads in Iowa with 44% to Clinton's 37%. Last month, Clinton led in Iowa. In Colorado, it shows a virtual tie with Clinton ahead 44 to 42%. Clinton also leads in Virginia 45 to 39, but that's down 6% from last month. Pollsters say Clinton was riding a post-convention bounce last month. On Capitol Hill, a U.S. senator is looking into the legality of President Obama's transgender bathroom guidance to every public school in America. Oklahoma Senator James Lankford says too often the Obama administration attaches new regulations to old laws in order to get around Congress. His subcommittee on regulatory affairs this week questioned representatives from the Departments of Labor and Education about how they justify the sweeping guidance.
I mean, they just created this really odd rule that takes away people's individual privacy for the sake of preference for another group. We need to be able to protect all groups in this process and to be able to honor. They need to have some basic what's called notice and comment. They created this rule, didn't ask anyone, just tried to impose it. That's not how we are as Americans. We're still a country of the people, by the people, for the people. And when the people get cut out, it doesn't work.
Last month, a federal judge in Texas blocked the president's bathroom guidance. The Supreme Court is now deciding whether to hear the case. Langford and other critics of the regulation say issues regarding bathrooms, locker rooms, and dorm rooms should be left up to local and state governments. A Rhode Island man has been convicted of plotting a lone wolf attack for the Islamic State. Nicholas Ravinsky pled guilty to conspiracy, including a plot to behead conservative blogger Pamela Geller. Prosecutors said he wanted to murder Geller for her outspoken criticism of Islam. Ravinsky faces a sentence of between 15 and 22 years. When the State Department declared that Christians in Syria and Iraq were facing genocide, many hoped support for those communities would follow. But it has not. New Jersey Congressman Chris Smith has introduced bipartisan legislation that would provide relief to victims of genocide in Iraq and Syria and hold accountable those responsible. Advocates are surprised legislation is even needed to pressure Congress and the president to protect those communities facing annihilation.
In the midst of this genocide, saving Christian and other communities that face extinction in Iraq and Syria is part of your mission. There is nothing unconstitutional, illegal, unethical, or unprofessional about prioritizing their need to survival as communities. They are innocent victims of a genocide. If these victimed communities are not receiving aid, you are not fulfilling your mission.
Some also express grave concerns more Christian refugees have not been accepted into the United States. A long-awaited museum honoring Black history opens this weekend in Washington, D.C. Exhibits highlights the journey from slavery to freedom, a journey paved in large part by faith. For example, an unusual connection between the museum and an old country church could provide clues on dealing with racial conflicts in America today. John Jessup shows us how.
On this dusty Virginia road sits an old country church.
You just feel the nearness of God here.
So small that Persons United Methodist only opens its doors 2 Sundays a month. Family and longtime members fill the pews for its 178th anniversary. Mark Person organized the event.
My ancestors were founding members of the church.
Big names like the state's governor, the president, and even the Queen of England have noted the church's history through the years. And the church's reputation is sure to grow as people learn about its connection to the new Smithsonian Museum of African American History and Culture. All this property behind the church used to belong to the family, including Person's Mill Pond back in those woods. It has historical significance because back in 1827, a young African American preacher was baptized there. He would go on to lead the largest and bloodiest slave rebellion in American history. His name? Nat Turner, a deeply religious slave who learned how to read. A powerful speaker nicknamed the Prophet, Turner claimed he saw visions from God. Mark Person recalls hearing about Nat Turner as a child.
As I got older and, we kind of got a little more history from the elders, they said there was an insurrection of 1831.
Mark's great-great-uncle was among the dozens of people killed in the rebellion against white slave owners led by Turner. About 60 men, women, and even children died at the hands of slaves determined to seize their freedom no matter the cost. But 2 slaves helped save Mark's great-great-grandmother, who was 8 months pregnant.
They were looking for her and they said, hey, she's run out the back, hurry. And they saved her life. If it hadn't been for that slave that night, wouldn't be telling the story.
White militias struck back quickly to put down the rebellion and in turn killed 200 blacks. Turner surrendered 2 months later with a sword in one hand and a Bible in the other, which was passed down to the Persons.
So since 1912, that Bible has been in the family.
After 100 years of safekeeping, the family learned about plans for the new museum and decided the time was right to donate the Bible.
We'd talk about, hey, that Bible maybe belongs where a few more people might see it.
Although painful, Mark believes there are important lessons for all of us to learn from the past.
God still has his hand on everything, and you know, the slaves went through a lot. It had to be you know, dehumanizing, and you know, the families were split up. I've met some people that said that they equate it to the Nat Turner uprising as give me liberty or give me death.
Mark speaks about his family history at college campuses and even had a chance to meet some of Nat Turner's relatives. He says it opened the door to reconciliation, a major goal of the new museum.
Race and reconciliation is a part of what our hope is. It is my belief that everyone who visits the museum will come out of it different and better.
A divided past through the lens of a shared history and a shared future.
Powerful story. In other news, the Satanic Temple in Seattle will be allowed to start an after-school Satan club in the Mount Vernon district. Attorney Duncan Fobe said the district would face an expensive lawsuit if the application was denied. Satanists have made similar applications in 9 other districts across the country. They're targeting schools that have a Good News Bible Club. A spokesperson for the Satanic Temple of Seattle says Satan clubs will teach children logic, self-empowerment, and reasoning. Coming up, the story of 7 gunslingers featuring some of the biggest names in Hollywood. But this action-packed Western features more than just sharp shooting. You'll see next. A new take on a classic Western hits theaters today. Magnificent Seven is rated PG-13 for its Wild West violence and language. Still, there are several faith themes in this new story starring Hollywood heavyweights Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt. Both actors are also outspoken Christians. Recently, I sat down with them and the rest of the cast for this look at their movie. There is no shortage of sharpshooting or side saddle horse tricks in the latest Magnificent Seven.
A lot of action, a lot of cool stunts. I had a great stunt man, by the way. I did a few of my own, but he did amazing job, Danny Edmo.
Danny was amazing.
Danny, he's a world champion bull rider. So these guys are tough, man. Jumping off of buildings, you know, like guy can ride like the wind.
Fearless.
Yeah, fearless.
Things you didn't want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Things they wouldn't. I mean, there are some of them I wanted. Some of them I wanted to do, they just wouldn't let me. Yeah. You know.
Antoine Fuqua directs the story of 7 gun-toting cowboys uniting to rescue the poor residents of Rose Creek. It's a fierce fight against savage thieves who've taken over their town. Peter Sarsgaard is the evil Bartholomew Bogue.
I think the other characters go through some transformation. Do you feel that there's a change in your character by the time we come to the end of this?
Oh, I think my character is like slowly dying over the course of the film. I'm looking like I'm melting on screen. So I think it's, you know, if you think of like Dante's Inferno, he's just going down, 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 down into a pit of hell. I think mine is a journey down.
We tell Bo if he wants his town, come see me.
2-time Academy Award winner Denzel Washington leads the pack of cowboys to the rescue in the role of Sam Chisholm.
Did you always know you wanted Denzel?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Still, and I kept feeling like it needs to be an event for me to get excited. And I said, Denzel Washington on the horse is the way to go. I said, that's the event.
The event is a new take on the 1954 Seven Samurai and the 1960s classic Western.
Denzel, you did not see the original before coming to this role and chose not to even before?
I like to respond to what I read and then try to interpret that. I didn't see the value for me in going back. Took a job, looking for some men to join me. Is it difficult? Impossible.
The cast of Hollywood heavyweights includes Chris Pratt, Ethan Hawke, and Vincent D'Onofrio.
if somebody else was doing the remake of Magnificent Seven, maybe I wouldn't have found it appealing or something. But I knew that Antoine would make it his own and make it fresh. The American Western is such a symbol, and to see Denzel take the helm is powerful to me. And I wanted to be a part of that.
Great diverse cast.
You get asked to do an Antoine Fuqua film, and it's got Denzel Washington and Ethan and Chris, and you don't think those guys are going to try and remake a movie exactly the way. Everybody had the same kind of feeling where we would just go in and create something cool and new and original, you know?
The cool, new, and original twist.
These men need inspiration. Inspire them. You are Goodnight Robichaux, after all.
Is a Western story with faith at the heart.
Chris, I'm one of the many people who follow you on social media, from erecting a cross to recently tweeting for prayer for a young fan. You're very open about your faith. What themes of faith do you think play out in this film, this Western?
That's a really good question. Thank you. I mean, there are, you know, themes of redemption, I think, and forgiveness. Those are major themes in the faith, my faith, and in this movie as well. I think, you know, these are people who have done bad things, but are seeking righteousness, are seeking an opportunity to make amends.
So you seek revenge?
I seek righteousness, but I'll take revenge.
Your character asks Emma if she seeks revenge, and she responds, I seek righteousness, but I'll take revenge. What themes of faith do you think are playing out in this film?
I think he's struggling with his faith. You know, he wants revenge, really.
Your shooting is good. Do it again. Sight the lowest part of the V, cheek resting against the stomach.
I had a father, thank you.
Haley Bennett plays Emma, the lone woman with courage to ask for help to save her town.
And she helps to defend the town in the end as well. Not likely for a woman of that period, correct?
Actually, no. Actually, that is the misconception, and hopefully we can set the record straight, because the truth is, and I learned this throughout my research, is that the women were just as involved in the men. Sometimes, I mean, a lot of times the men were absent, the men were out hunting, the men were out trading.
And for Haley, this film was a chance to set that record straight. And you can see extended interviews with Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, and the others from the film. You can find it all at CBNNews.com. Still to come, scientists decipher the charred remains of an ancient Jewish scroll. An amazing discovery. We've got the story next. Cutting-edge technology is helping archaeologists unravel the mysteries of an ancient biblical scroll. The charred remains of the scroll were found in Ein Gedi, Israel, near the Dead Sea in 1970. They sat in a storeroom for decades, too brittle to open, but now researchers say a new scanning technology allowed them to digitally read the scroll, including 8 verses from the book of Leviticus. Scholars say those verses are the first physical evidence. The version of the Hebrew Bible used today goes back 2,000 years to the time of Christ. And joining us now with more insight on this discovery is Dr. Cornée Becker, Dean of the Divinity School at Regent University. Thank you so much for being here. Why is this discovery so important, particularly how it dates to the text of the time of Jesus?
Right. So the oldest version that we had of Leviticus actually went back to the 8th century, and this puts us back to possibly the 1st century, definitely the 2nd century. And what's extraordinary about us is that this indeed affirms the veracity, the truthfulness, the trustworthiness of the biblical record that we have.
It's so exciting. What impact will this discovery have, you think, on future translations, if any?
I don't think it will, because what we have here is that, again, this comes from the Masoretic text, and so we know that the text that we are using is indeed trustworthy, it is good, it is appropriate, it is fine.
That said, how do you think this should affect the way we approach the Bible and the way we study it?
Well, first and foremostly, we can know that the text that we have of the Hebrew Bible is trustworthy, it is good, it is right, it is unchanged. Secondly, I think this technology is going to help us uncover some more evidence that we have.
I love it. Does this lend further proof to the authenticity of the scriptures?
Well, yes, of course. Imagine you have a text that for 2,000 years has remained unchanged. In all of the ancient scrolls that we have, in all of the ancient texts, this is absolutely unmatched to have this long record of unchanged text.
Hearing this and people watching, many wondering, so how does this, you think, affect the average Christian listening?
Well, the average Christian, I think, should take extraordinary hope and say that indeed, yes, every single word, and as Jesus would say, every jot and tittle of the Hebrew can be trusted. And that indeed that we can take every word and every statement that has been made as true.
This is something that excites you?
Oh, extraordinary. I've been excited for a few days since we found it. We've been aware of this text for the longest period of time. Apart from the Dead Sea Scrolls, this is probably the most significant finding in archaeology for us in our own contemporary time.
And technology played a big role in us being able
to
examine
yes, it. Yes. We never thought that this text would be ever able to be open, and certainly not to be to read it.
Yeah, beautiful. Dr. Courtney Becker, thank you so much. Much appreciated always. And of course, if you want to learn much more about this scroll and the technology used to unravel it, you can find it all at our website. And of course, that website is cbnnews.com. Stay with us. There's more of CBN NewsWatch right after this. Time now for your Friday Faithful. I want to pass along this message of encouragement. God is bigger than all of your problems, bigger than all of your questions, bigger than all of your fears, bigger than any mountain you can or cannot see. So let's not focus on the mountains. Let's focus on the God. And with that word, let's all make this a fabulous Friday. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. Remember, you can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about always at cbnnews.com. We'd love to hear what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do it on Facebook, Twitter, as well as Instagram. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Once again, make this a fabulous Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you right back here come Monday.